is coming.
All these voices. All these voices.
They're mine, he said. They're not yours. You had no right to them when you were alive, and you have no right to them when you're dead. He said, that's what it sounded like. Good, you know who I am. And then you know I'm not playing. You're going to let those women go. In Jesus' name, you're going to let those women go.
Is there a demon here watching us right now? Watching us right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Staring into the Abyss. I am your host, horror author James Hershey Jr., and with me, as always, my co-host, old boy James Ash. How you doing, brother?
And good evening, everybody. How are you doing? And thank you, James. I hope everybody enjoying your night. What do you guys think about this one? I've been hearing a lot about it on TikTok about Dawson, Andrew Dawson, and I've been hearing it about for the last couple months because I guess it was last April. Like April 9th is when he did the first video, and I'll talk about that in a minute and all the stuff that's leading up to this. So I saw it a couple days ago, and I threw it to James like a day or two ago, and I said, let's do a show about this. And I've been hearing a lot about it. I've been seeing a lot about it on TikTok. I know you guys all have about Andrew Dawson, about what happened to him, because I guess he disappeared, or he supposedly died in July of last year. So we'll get to the story. I want to know what you guys think in the comments. What do you guys think what happened to him? What do you think is going on? Do you think the CIA had something to do with it? The government? Because it was in Canada, it wasn't here in the United States. Was it the Canadian government? Was it the FBI? Was it the CIA of the United States? What do you think happened? Tell us what you guys think in the comments. We always want to hear what you guys think. So, on April 9th, Jasper Park, National Park, in Alberta, Canada, who does a lot of videos, nothing to do with any of the stuff we do, paranormal, none of this stuff. He does, like, for the last year and a half, I think he was just doing videos of, like, his dog, his family, his hairstyle. I guess he was a big into his hair, doing different things for his hair, but he was here in Canada, and he takes a video of a figure, and you could see this figure on top of the mountain peak, and you could tell it's not a regular person. That you would know if you'd barely see, you could see a giant. Is it a Nephilim? Is it an alien? A giant race? The reptilians? Was it another being from another dimension? What do you guys think? Yeah, I know you see the beard, guys. It's getting longer and longer, and I love it. So does my wife. But after seeing it, knowing he wasn't this kind of person, doesn't do a lot of videos of this. So April 13th comes along. He goes back to this road. He finds out by the locals, they said this thing appears all the time. So he takes this road. It's illegal. Remember, this park's illegal to go in. He gets stopped. Gets told to leave. The guy's all, it's a public park, a public road. They stop him because I guess he put it on YouTube, what he was doing, and TikTok, that he was, he saw that video came out and got millions of views. Well, of course, the military and the government are going to get involved. Turns around, doesn't listen, goes back and gets caught again. The guy says, shut up. If it's at night, a couple days later, the cop tells him to, or the CIA agent, whatever, was in this black car, tells him to shut out his camera and leave. Does. The next couple days, sees the car at his house, outside of his house, his apartment plex with his parents or something. I think he lived with his parents. I don't know if it's their apartment or their house. Takes off. Well, for over a month, nothing from this guy. He was always on all the time. About May 14th or 15th, I think it was, he comes back on. This was a hoax. Don't believe it. I was just playing around. But you could see him, he's looking to the side the whole time. And again, this guy doesn't talk about this stuff. And he has video of it. And you could see him looking at somebody telling him to do this. Well, 10 days later, in June, I think it was, he makes another video that this was a lie. They're going to kill him. He's going to disappear. They made him do it. The CIA, the government, and made a video about this. And a lot of people are talking about this now. Well, a month later, he died July 1st. It came out in the obituary. He died. Don't know how, it doesn't say. He just passed away July 1st of last year. What do you guys think? Did he see something he wasn't supposed to? Because there's another video, I think like a couple weeks later, of helicopters flying during that week in April over the same area. And then like 10 days later, he shows like, I think it's like a military base or like a missile thing there. Like the military tank or something was there where this thing supposedly landed. Because he has another video of this thing coming down. It looks like a UFO. Was it something coming from another dimension? Check out the videos. It's all over about Andrew Dawson. Check it out. That's like the big thing right now. So that's why I figured to do it, because it's so popular right now. I figured to see what you guys thought. Staring into the abyss will bring it to light. Because we don't care. We're controversial, so come on. This is probably going to get checked, because a lot of people are bringing it up. So I'm going to bring it up. So is James Hershey, because we're not worried about it. It shows a video of this thing landing where the giant was a week later before that. And all these other things are going on, and all of a sudden he just disappears, and now he's dead. And now they're saying they said some people think it's hoax, but then they say, oh, it shows he's dead. He was a real person. He never did videos like this for over 1.5 years, 2 years. And all of a sudden he has this video of this giant on top of the mountain in Alberta, Canada. What do you guys think? I think it may be right. True. I don't know, man. I've been hearing a lot about this. This is a very popular subject, going a real controversial subject right now that is going on, guys. I would love to hear your feedback about this. You know how we are, man. We want to know. This is a big thing that a lot of people are talking about right now. I see hundreds of videos of this guy. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everything. Twitter, everything. Now I'm seeing about Andrew Dawson. You think they took care of him? You think that he found out something he wasn't supposed to? He videotaped something he wasn't supposed to a couple times. He kept pushing it. They told him to stay away. You have to realize when it becomes the government thing, you get told something, you better do it. You know how that's going to happen. You see what happened. I think that he might have caught on to something, video cameraed something, and you know what? I think he wanted people to see it, but then it blew up in his face because I think he pushed it. And I think a lot of people have to realize when you push things, stuff like this kind of happens. And it's sad. He passed away, and I'm sorry for his family. If it's real, like I said, it could be a hoax. You know how Instagram, TikTok and all this, there's stuff that people lie about. But he's supposedly gone. They're trying to figure out if it's a lie or hoax, what's going on. The videos are not. I've seen the videos. I've seen everything about this incident and this situation. I don't think it's fake. I know he was real. And like I said, for almost 2 years, he did all kinds of different videos that had nothing to do with the paranormal, crypto, any kind of stuff like that. I got it from a couple sites, and I was like, man, I'm going to go look this up. And I sent it to James, a lot of stuff about this from YouTube. YouTubers are talking about this. And some people think it might be a giant, the Nephilim, or it may be another creature, maybe he thinks it's a Bigfoot if you listen to it. I don't. I think it's bigger than that. Even at 9-10 feet, it looks like it's 20 feet or bigger. I don't know. You guys look at the videos. Maybe James will put some videos of it, of the footage, so you guys can tell us what you think about it, what you think's going on in those videos. It's kind of weird, man. You could see stuff flying down a couple days later with it looks like a UFO, and the guy, I guess he did stuff to the TikToker who did the video about the guy. He shows something like that too, similar. Not in the same area, but in Florida, I think. And tell us what you guys think. Same kind of video, but it was a little bit different. But it was like a blob, but you could see it's burning down. And then the military helicopters, and then a tank showing up. There's all kinds of stuff on these videos, man. And then the guy in the car telling him to get out of here, then going to his house. Its footage is all there, man. And them doing the videos where you could see him looking at somebody, and then he doing a video where he's all scared out of his mind. I've seen this before with Area 51, people doing that, and the government came and took all his stuff away because he got too close, and he videotaped stuff he wasn't supposed to back in the 90s. I remember this. In the 80s, the guy got his whole house raided. You got to watch what you're dealing with, man, especially with this. This ain't like aliens and Bigfoot and stuff like this. It supposedly might be Bigfoot. This is something he wasn't supposed to record and see, and he kept pushing it and going asking around, and the wrong person heard about it probably. And this is the stuff you have to realize if you're trying to become famous, or maybe you weren't, you're just to warn people. This is a warning, guys. If this is true, you need to really pay attention to what you mess with. When it comes to aliens, any conspiracy theories, it's not good to talk about them. We don't go there a lot. This one we will. We're not going to bring up about what we think happened and say anything crazy because, we don't know. We don't know if it could be fake for all you know. There's always these conspiracy theories that people are so crazy. They think they're so scared. There's a lot of people who are just scared of everything. They think there's a conspiracy on everything. Government's about it. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe the road was shut down. Maybe that was just a guy, was scaring him, and maybe it's just the guy that's with him. Then they recorded this footage, but maybe it's just exaggerated or something. You never know. You never know this day and age. It could be CGI or something. But then they showed the military helicopters; those weren't. So he kept showing stuff. And like I said, if it was somebody who's done this, but it's somebody who never did, and he was just on vacation in Canada for all places. And then the CIA showed up, he said, and they scared the wits out of him. You could see it in the videos, guys. You could see how scared this guy was. And he was getting told stuff. And then he made a video after this, like 10, 12 days later, talking about it. And he hardly comes on, and then all of a sudden he dies in July of last year. 2 months after all this stuff happens, a little under 2 months. And all of a sudden he's gone. Why? He found out something he wasn't supposed to talk about, guys. That's what I think. That's a big possibility on this. I'm going to go 80-90% on this. There's a little bit of chance it could be a hoax, but I know they can't find him. I know he passed away. I know that's true. So it's like people thought he disappeared. No, he passed away. But how? How did he pass away? They don't really say it in the obituaries, what I was reading. So we don't know what happened to this guy. Me and James are going to have... I'm going to wonder what James is going to say, because I know he's going to have an opinion on this. James used to work he did some stuff for NASA. So you guys, and his family's in the military and stuff like that. That's as far as I'm going to say anything about. So I wonder if he's going to talk about this, because this is really cool and really crazy, interesting scenario that's going on right now with Andrew Dawson. Dawson. And the guy was just doing videos about different hairstyles and his family and food and stuff like that over a year and a half. And then all of a sudden he sees this video and all this crazy stuff happens. And then he dies, supposedly. What do you guys think? Do you think he saw something? You think it was a giant? Do you think it was an alien, another creature from another dimension? And the government saw it, didn't want him telling anybody. He stuck his nose. He was going around looking at this road. It was supposed to take it close up that area, and they caught him twice trying to go there, and he pushed it, and they followed him to his house, and they found out who he was. That could be a possibility, guys. I don't know. What do you guys think? That's why I picked this one. This one was a really good one. I know I want to hear you guys' comments, and I enjoy it. I think this was really crazy story I've been hearing. Like I said, it's all over TikTok, YouTube. Go look it up. Andrew Dawson disappearance and death. The Nephilim. There's hundreds of videos about this. TikToks everywhere. I've seen it everywhere. Like I was saying earlier, it's everywhere. It's not just like, oh, I've seen it a couple times. And I've been seeing it for months. And I finally said, you know what? I'm going to look this up and do a show about it with James. I'm going to tell James about it. We're going to look up and do some research. And we're going to do a show, because it's been like a month or two since I've been seeing this. I've been seeing this since last year, like October, November. And I'm like, man, I got to do something, because I've been seeing it since then. And now it's like, it's all over the place. They're still talking about it. It's like a big thing. It's like millions of people are talking about it now. It's all over. It's a big conspiracy theory right now. Did he record a Nephilim and UFOs and the military getting involved? He wasn't supposed to see it, in Canada, in Alberta on top of a mountain peak. What do you guys think? If you look at the videos, like I said, it looks like there's something standing there and it's huge. And it's gone. He takes video, there's nothing there, and he takes video of the military's there, then an alien coming down, and then a tank. You could see there was nothing there, and then there was something there. So and it's too small. Like a person you could barely see, even if it was 6-7 feet tall. This thing had to be over 15, 20 feet. Even 10 feet, you wouldn't barely see it. It was huge. What do you guys think? I want to know, guys. This is a trippy story. That's why I picked it. Again, like I said, I enjoy doing these ones because we don't do a lot of this. This is a very popular subject. We don't really like to jump into that because of this, but this was a really good one because everybody's still talking about it, and it's been like 6-7 months now. Over half a year almost. And this is still talking about. It's like a big hot thing. TikTok videos everywhere. Now it's a big conspiracy about it. We'll try to do more of these. We have to set up more of these down because this is just blowing up. There's all kinds of different conspiracies going out there now. There's so much stuff going now. It's such a different thing than it was when we started 6 years ago, a little over 6 years ago. It's different subjects. Now we have so much to talk about. Years and years you're going to have a staring of the abyss till we die. And then hundreds of years from that, you can watch it forever because it's always going to be on YouTube for free. We'll never charge you for these shows. That's one thing we've always promised and told you guys. We'll never charge you for these shows. And James has promised that. These will be free forever. So remember that, guys. You'll never get charged for any of these shows. Now, if we go on TV or something, that's a whole different story. Then you're going to have to watch this on TV. But that's another story for another time. But like I said, one day in 100, 200 years, you'll be listening to Old Boy and James Hershey will be long gone in the ground or wherever I'm going to be in the space or whatever, dirt, ground, whatever, you know what we're going to be. And you're going to be, man, these guys were something different. You talk about stuff that I've never even thought of and go the history we never thought of. And that's what we are, so different. West Virginia, California, Pennsylvania, that's where Tales of the Abyss is going all, for our ghost stuff. The shows all over the world, over the country. They know us everywhere now, especially the paranormal community knows who we are. Big names. We are different than anything else. We're living our dreams. We love it. We love you guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one because this one was really crazy. A really good crazy one that I wanted to do for a while, and I've been seeing it for months, and I'm like, screw it, I'm going to pull the trigger and I'm going to talk to James about it. And I know you guys are going to enjoy it. We try to do an action-packed hour every week. I know you guys are loving us. We love you. We love you on Parax Radio, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all over the place. We love you guys. There you go, James. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, brother. Okay, so this one. This is a rough one. I'm going to be careful here. This gentleman, I believe, well, let's start it this way. There's two possibilities here. Either this was a hoax, which the gentleman did claim it was, but then he recanted that, and there was some definite evidence of possible manipulation in that original claim that it was a hoax. So either it was a hoax, like he claimed, and we're all just kind of being taken for a ride here. Or the other option is that he filmed something he wasn't supposed to film. And in my view, he was repeatedly warned. They basically told him without telling him, dude, leave this alone. Over and over and over again. And he didn't listen and he kept pushing. And he ended up being killed for it. Those are the two possibilities here. So which one is true? Well, I'll start off right now by saying we cannot 100% say either way, whether it's true or not true. We weren't there. We don't know. But I can tell you what the evidence shows. And I can lay out a scenario for you and kind of take you through a process here that I think will make it pretty easy to figure this one out. And in the end, as always, you guys are going to decide for yourself. You're going to make up your own mind about what you think of this. But at the end of this, I will definitely tell you what I think. And I'm going to go through it. And I'm going to show you the evidence on the screen so you can look at it. And we're going to break this down bit by bit, and we're really going to look at it and try to figure out what's going on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some photographs up on the screen, and I'm going to kind of walk you through this as we go. For all of you listening on Parax Radio or any of our other affiliates out there that carry the show around the world, you're not going to be able to see these photographs. I'm going to do the best I can to describe them as we go. If you want to actually see the photographs, go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/James Hershey Jr. That's my YouTube channel. I will be putting this show up on the YouTube channel like I do every week, and you will be able to actually watch the video of us doing the show. And you will be able to actually see for yourself the photographs, okay? Now, these photographs are screenshots from the actual TikTok videos that this gentleman made. So this isn't like something I found on Google or something that is a proposed photograph of a giant or whatever. This is the actual screenshots from the videos that this gentleman made that could have potentially ended up causing him to lose his life. So without further ado, I'm going to go to those now. In this first video, we see the object in question that the gentleman called a giant is on top of the mountain. You'll notice there's a big red arrow there, and it's pointing directly at the object. Now, this is a screenshot from his TikTok video. So this is not very easy to make out what it is. It looks like it could be a bipedal hominoid type shape, but we're not exactly sure what it is. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to zoom in on this twice. Okay, the first time we're going to zoom in, and then we're going to zoom in again to really, really, really close and see what we see. So this is the first photograph. Okay, now this is that same photograph, but zoomed in. Now here we can see a little closer on the object. It appears to have two legs, because you can see a little bit of light in between the two. It seems to have a torso shape, two darker blobs on each side, which look like they could be arms, and up top there is a head. Now around the head is a circular smudge-looking thing. Now that could potentially be like a spacesuit, like what an astronaut would wear. It's bulky, it's poofy, like one of their spacesuits are, and it's got the bubble top. Now this would make sense if what we're dealing with here is an alien, because maybe they can't breathe our air. Maybe their atmosphere wherever they're from is different than ours. So maybe what we're looking at here is some sort of alien in a spacesuit. But this is the second photograph that is zoomed in. Now I'm going to zoom in one more time to get really, really close. This third photograph that we're looking at is the same image, really, really zoomed in. Okay, so this is really, really close. In this photograph, you can see better definition on the two legs down at the bottom. You can clearly see that there is light in between them that separates them. So that, in my mind, establishes that what we're looking at here are two legs. You have a torso shape, and then you have the two blobs of the hands and the arms going up. And then you have a head shape inside of a round circular shape. And the head shape inside is darker, just like the extremities are, the arms are. And that to me is very interesting, that the outer circular shape on top is lighter than the inside circular shape. To me, that could say that what we're looking at inside is a solid object, like a head, and what we're looking at on the outside that's a lot more transparent and, see-through is possibly a bubble top, just like an astronaut would have. Okay, the headgear, the helmet. That's what that looks like it could be to me. Okay, any further zooming in, I tried zooming in again, but any further and it gets really pixelated, and there's really not much to be gained by that. So those are the three photographs of the supposed giant. Now, looking at these photographs, I don't believe that this is a giant at all. I mean, in a way, because it's big as hell. Okay, as you can plainly see, And I'm leaving this third photograph up on the screen for you so you can actually look at it while we're talking. But to me, this is not a giant in the Genesis 6 context of giant, the biblical context, where like what David fought when he fought Goliath, okay? This is not one of those kind of giants in my mind. Because why would one of those kind of giants have to wear a spacesuit? Which is what this appears to be to me. It is giant, though. I'll give you that. It is very, very large, and it appears to be bipedal and hominid. So what I think we're looking at here is potentially an alien. And that makes sense and leads us to our next set of photographs, which is a screenshot from the video the gentleman put up of the UFO. Okay, so this first photograph that I'm on now is an actual screenshot from the video. You can see here in the middle of the screen the bright white anomaly that's there in the middle. That is what he called a UFO. Now, there's not a whole lot to tell here other than it looks like two separate plumes of smoke to me from this photograph. But we're going to zoom in on it, and we're going to see what we see. So here's that photograph zoomed in on. Now, once we zoom in, you can see a lot more definition in the middle and around the sides. What I thought to be just two plumes of smoke, now it just looks like that is one solid object. And it's the way the light is hitting it that's making one section of it brighter than the rest of it. At least that's what it looks like to me. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section when this video hits YouTube what you think of this. Because to me, that looks like it is a solid object in the sky. It's not pyramid shaped. If I would have to give it a shape, I would say like a cigar shaped almost. It looks like a hot dog, honestly. The middle section, the dark section there looks like the hot dog, and then the lighter section looks like the bun that the hot dog is sitting in. That's what it looks like to me. But I would say that that is probably a ship, a spacecraft of some sort. Now, terrestrial, extraterrestrial, that's the question, right? Is this an alien ship or is this a military flight? Well, I think that question can be answered. And I think that question is answered by one, the giant that we saw on top of the mountain wearing a spacesuit. That is probably an alien. Okay, it's either an alien or it's military testing out some new battle suit that they've developed, possibly for use on other planets. When we travel to other planets, maybe they've come up with a new type of spacesuit that is gigantic that the person can get inside of and operate like a robot and has battle capabilities and all that kind of cool stuff. Maybe that's what we're looking at here. Could be. In that case, this object here could be a terrestrial ship, one of ours that we built, that is classified. And that would definitely explain the next set of pictures that we're going to show. All right, this photograph here is a screenshot from the video that he put up of the military on top of the mountain. Now, this is the site where the giant or alien or whatever the hell it was actually standing on the mountain. And as you can see plainly here, there is some sort of structure there now. Okay, old boy called it a tank. To me, that it looks like it could be a tank because down at the bottom you got the treads, and then you got the top turret section that would spin around. That's possible, but more than likely, I wouldn't say it's a tank because I don't see the actual cannon. More than likely, what I would say that is some sort of crawler vehicle. It is an all-terrain vehicle that has tracks like a tank would, but it is not used to blast things like a tank is used. It's used just to traverse really, really sketchy terrain. That's what I would say that is. Is it military? Almost guaranteed, because who else could potentially have something like that? I mean, that is pretty badass. And believe me, that would cost a hell of a lot of money. So for somebody to have that up on top of that mountain like that, you'd have to have somebody that's multi-millions of dollars to be able to afford something like that. At least multi-millions, maybe hundreds of millions to afford something like this driving up a mountain. So most likely that's military, that right there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in one more time on this and see if we can get any more detail out of it. Because I did do a zoom in here. Okay, as we zoom in, it becomes clearer to me that what we're looking at on the bottom, sticking off the edge of the cliff here, are tracks. That's what it looks like, and it looks like a turret section on top that spins or rotates. And it looks like up top here we have a couple antenna. that are sticking up for communication purposes and stuff like that. It could even be an unmanned, like a drone, potentially. And the antennas are to capture signal to be able to actually drive the thing and control it from a remote location. Another interesting thing is right to the left, down and to the left, on the top of the peak there are two more antenna-like structures sticking straight up. Now that to me is very, very interesting. Is that a fence that was somewhere else? But if you remember the first photograph, I'm going to put the first photograph back on the screen. Okay, this is the one with the big red arrow. In this photograph, you do not have any antenna-like structure anywhere on this slope. It's just simply not there. So if it's a fence or something like that, if it's a permanent structure, it's not present in the first photograph. But it is present. I'm going to go back to the zoomed-in photograph of the crawler vehicle. It is present here on this photograph. Now, there's a lot less snow coverage here than there was in the first photograph, but this was taken at a different time. So to me, that's not as alarming. But I wonder what that is. Is that some sort of communication base that they have set up there so that they can communicate with the ground, whoever the base camp guy is? Is that what that could potentially be? I don't know. That's what it looks like to me. Is they're setting up something, or maybe they're setting up some sort of containment unit. Maybe whatever was standing there is now toast, man. Maybe they killed it, and it's laying up there, and they're setting up a containment unit around it, something to hold it so that they can airlift it out. Because remember, after this, he said that he saw military helicopters in the area as well, riding around. So maybe that's what they're doing here, is getting ready to pick this thing up and take it away. Maybe they tranked it or they killed it and they're trying to get away with it. It's a potential answer. But those are the photographs so you can see for yourself. Now, all of these are screenshots from the actual videos that this gentleman did. Okay? So this is not theory. This is not hypothesis. This is actual photographic evidence that he supplied that could have got him killed. Okay, so you have now had an opportunity to see for yourself exactly what this gentleman captured. And you've had the opportunity to see better than most people have gotten to see this. Because for most people, they've just watched the video. And in the video, it's on a screen for a second or two. It's passing by it. So you don't see it as clearly as you do when I zoom in and give you a still shot of it. Now, like I said, these are screenshots from the videos themselves. If you want to see the videos, they're all over the place, man. You can go to YouTube. There's a bunch of different channels that are playing the entire video and talking over them. You can go to TikTok and see the videos for yourself as well. I thought the screenshots would be a better way to do it so that you could really get a good look at what's going on. Okay? So to me, as I said when I was showing the photographs, to me it looks like what we're dealing with is some sort of bipedal hominid in a suit. Now, whether that is a spacesuit, such as we're used to with our astronauts wearing when they're in space, or whether it is some sort of mechanized suit, it might not even be a person inside of it. It looked like a person inside of it, or some sort of hominid creature inside of it, an alien or something. It looked like there was something inside of it. But it also potentially could just be a robot. Okay, it could be some sort of battle droid that they made, that the military made, and that they are testing, and it malfunctioned and just stood there. Instead of running or doing whatever it was supposed to do, it just broke down and was just standing there. So they had to go get it. That's possible. I'm not saying that's the answer, but it's possible. Whatever it was very, very big. We can see that with our eyes, plainly. As you saw in the most zoomed out picture, for it to be that large, that far away, it had to be big. I mean, we're talking, this isn't a 10 or 15 foot tall thing. This is, I would guesstimate, probably 30, 40 feet at least. It's big in order for it to look that big from that far away. So do we have any evidence or any reports of any aliens that are large like that? Well, we do have evidence of what they call tall grays, which are supposedly 12 to 15 feet in height. Now, that is not 30 or 40 feet, but it is bigger than an ordinary alien. But when you're talking about an alien species, how do we know what's out there? I mean, it's entirely possible that something that large could exist somewhere. Now, is it probable that something that large could come here? And I'll explain why I said that. Usually the way things evolve is you either grow your body or you grow your brain. Okay? Dinosaurs, very, very big. Teeny tiny little brains. Okay, you've heard it said in school that some of those large dinosaurs had brains the size of a pea. Now, I don't know how true that is. I don't really know if there's a lot of evidence to support that, or if that's just something they're saying based on the size of the skull or something like that. I don't know. But we do know that raptors, among other dinosaurs, raptors were extremely intelligent. They were capable of strategic planning. They were capable of working together to ambush and lead their prey into a trap. So that is high-level intelligence. Now notice a raptor is about my size, 6-7 feet. It's not 30, 40 feet like a brontosaurus or like 20 feet like a T-Rex or something, right? I don't know if that's how big a T-Rex is, so don't at me in the comments. I have no idea. I'm just shooting out numbers here. T-Rex are pretty big. Brontosaurus, even bigger, okay? Smaller brains, supposedly, according to paleontologists. Raptors, very, very intelligent, much smaller creature. So that seems to support the theory that you can either grow your brain or you can grow your body. Now that is Earth physiology. If that holds true throughout the universe, then that means that what we're dealing with here, if it's a very large creature, would have to be one that's not so bright. And if that's the case, how did it build spacecraft capable of coming here? That's an interesting question to ask. How did that happen? It's not very smart, so how did it get here? The other option here is that what we're dealing with is not an alien at all. Maybe it was sent by aliens. It's entirely possible that what we're looking at is exactly what I said it was, a robot, a mechanized droid, okay? It could be that an alien species sent the craft here on like a reconnaissance mission. The same way we would send an unmanned drone flying over Russia or China or something to take pictures. And what we're looking at is the equivalent of our rover, right? When we go to Mars or someplace like that and we put out a rover, which is a little robot that rides around and looks at stuff and takes pictures and all that kind of stuff, sends film, takes samples, sends data back to us. It could be that that's what we're looking at, is some sort of alien drone, droid, robot that is on a reconnaissance mission or a scientific mission. Maybe it's just collecting samples and stuff to send back the data so that they can know what we're all about. It's possible. In that case, they very well could have made it very large, especially if our reputation precedes us. Think about this. What are the majority of movies and TV shows made of? What is their plot? Almost all of them have to do with one of three things. Love, and in the case of love, it's always some sort of either love triangle or woman leaves man, man goes crazy, tries to kill woman, something like that. It's always some drama involved, right? Or they're action movies that's got a bunch of, whether it's a war movie or a cop movie or whatever, it's got people shooting each other, killing each other, all kinds of combat, right? Or it's a horror movie, in which case you got a killer walking around killing everybody. So in all three of those instances, the common thread there is chaos, emotion,
and violence. Now, how do we televise the TV shows? How do we play the movies? Well, it's done through a signal, a TV signal, a cable signal, stuff like that. When it goes, and nowadays streaming, it's going over the internet, it's going through Wi-Fi and everything. All of those signals are being beamed out. Okay, they're going up, hitting satellites, bouncing off, coming back to Earth, all that kind of jazz. And some of them are flying out through space. So you have signals carrying all of these movies and TV shows and everything about violence and murder and death and war throughout the cosmos. An intelligence alien civilization would be able to pick those up. I mean, we can pick them up, and we're not that smart. We're not capable of traveling to another galaxy or another solar system to colonize a planet, at least not on the record. So if we can pick up those signals, what makes you think that some alien species out there couldn't? What makes you think that they couldn't not only pick those up, but figure out a way to play them? Okay, so if that happens and they're watching all of our movies and all of our TV shows and all of our entertainment, then they see nothing but violence. Even our sporting events are violent. Football, violence. Hockey, violence. Even the ones that aren't quite as violent as far as the fighting and the hitting, like basketball, baseball, soccer, even those, you're kicking a ball at each other, at the other goalie trying to score. With baseball, you're carrying a big club and you're smacking the ball. Basketball, you're dribbling this thing and dunking it down with force. Every single one of them is aggression. So if an alien species sees all that, and they want to send a drone, hey, let's go check out this planet, man, where we're getting all these signals from. There's intelligent life there. Let's go see what those cats are about. Well, when they intercept all of our signals, it's nothing but violence, man. It's nothing but killing and death and rage and emotion. Well, they're going to send a drone. They're not coming themselves, not at first. I guarantee that, not if they're smart. And if our reputation precedes us, like I said, and they've watched our movies and our entertainment, then they must think we're a bunch of crazy people down here. So, of course, if they're going to send a drone, they're going to need something big, something that can take care of itself. Now, they can see on all of our film that we send out that we're not all that big. We're about 6 feet. So let's make something 30 or 40 feet tall. That thing ain't going to get hurt. Let's make it big and bulky and strong, armored, so that it can take photographs and take samples and do everything it needs to do some recon. That's a good possibility. So if it is alien, it could be that it's not an alien giant. It just could be a droid, a big robot that they made to send here to figure out what the hell we're doing. And they didn't want to come themselves, and they didn't want to send something small like a little rover because they knew we would just smash it. But apparently we smashed it anyway because it looks like our military smashed it. So that could be what we're looking at. Now, do I think that this gentleman is hoaxing? Do I think that this is a hoax? Let me explain the process when you're dealing with classified materials, okay? And I'm going to be careful doing this. The process is different for the average person out there than it is for somebody who is working for the government. Okay, whether you're an agent in one of the 3-letter agencies or whether you are simply a contractor that's been read into a project because you're working on that project. You sign NDAs. Those are non-disclosure agreements. What those state is that you will not divulge any of the secrets. You won't talk, basically. If you do, then the government will destroy you, basically. The basic concept is the same, but it's handled differently for civilians that don't work with the government and for people that are involved in this stuff, okay? But for this gentleman, there's no indication that he was working for an agency. There's no indication he was government at all. He's just a normal person who made TikTok videos about his hair and his family and his dog and stuff like that. Wasn't involved in the paranormal, wasn't involved in anything like this. No conspiracy stuff, nothing before this. So in a situation like that, he filmed something he's not supposed to see. He puts it up. Now, there are agencies such as the NSA that kind of capture everything. So believe me, if you put it out there, they have it. I don't care if you send it in a private message to your friend Joey, and that's the only person you ever said it to, and it was only in a DM or an IM or whatever the hell you call them, depending on what platform you're on. They still got it. In that case, they're probably going to wait and see what happens. If it starts to pick up steam, if you put a video out like he did, and it starts getting a lot of views, then what's going to happen is they're going to open a file on you. They're going to start surveillance on you. They're going to start watching you, seeing what you're doing. And they're still not going to really make a big move yet because they're hoping that it just kind of dies down and goes away because they don't want to make waves. They don't want to draw attention to themselves. If you go back to the site and you're trying to film again and get closer, like he did, they had already secured the site at that point. That's why he ran into somebody who had the road blocked off. In that situation, that person turned him around and told him to bail. And you can believe there was what's called an incident report filed on that. That had his license plate number, that had who he was, all that, and what happened. He was told to leave, to go away. He still didn't let it go. This raises the concern a little bit. To where, hey, this guy filmed this, and now he's coming back trying to go again. Now, we sent him away, but this is starting to get concerning because he won't stop. He goes back again the next day. Again, he sees the same person and has the road closed. The gentleman, more forcefully this time, tells him, go away. The road's closed. Go away. He leaves, right? He goes up to turn around. But when he comes back through, he's filming. And he makes a mistake, if you watch the videos, of raising the camera up to try to capture the man's face. That was a very big mistake. Because I guarantee you, if that is an agent, he saw it. So now you have him not only doing that, but putting these videos out and them getting a lot of views. So now you have a repeated pattern of this guy that won't leave this alone. You try to tell him to go away. You try to be a little forceful and to scare him a little bit. You're already watching him. Now you're going to pay him a visit. You're going to lurk around and you're going to give him a little fright. And that's what they did. He should have let it go. He didn't. He came back yet again later and filmed whatever that crawler vehicle was up on top of the mountain and filmed the shape of the UFO, and he filmed the helicopters flying around up there and put that out for people. Now you're going to knock on this guy's door. And you're going to tell him in no uncertain terms, hey, you need to stop. And it's reached the point now where enough people have seen this, you're going to have to recant. You're going to have to go and make a video and say that you're lying and you made it all up. That's what happened, I think. You can see when he makes a video, he's looking off to the side. And he looks scared. Look at his body language. He's crumpled up like this. He's got his hands in his pocket, almost holding himself. He's afraid. He's not confident. It's not his normal behavior. He says that he recants. He made it all up. It was a hoax. He comes back a little bit later and makes another video saying, hey, this wasn't a hoax. You may never see me again. I wasn't lying. This was real. Now, from the time of the recant video to that time, probably what happened is they put the fear of God in that boy. Because they got to make sure you're not going to say anything. So they're going to scare the hell out of you. They probably told him that they would send him to prison. They told him they'd ruin him. They told him they'd kill him. They told him that they'd kill his family. I guarantee you a lot of that stuff probably happened. At this point, if he shuts his mouth, they go away. Usually. Unless he's done something really bad that really requires action. But at this point, if they're just scaring him, he probably could have walked away from the whole thing. But he came out and made that video saying that it was true. And that they made him make that video, basically. At that point, you've had warning after warning after warning. You're going to have an accident. And that's probably what happened to the guy. That's my opinion on it. That's how these things work out for you. They're going to warn you. They're going to try to scare you. If you keep on, they are going to try to ruin you. They will smear you. They will make up lies about you. They will frame you for something and put your ass in jail. If that doesn't work because you have too big of a reach and you're still talking and you're still making videos and you're still putting it out there, then you got to go. That's all there is to it. You got to go. That's the way it works. And this should be a sober reminder to everybody that if you get involved in something like this and you see something you're not supposed to see, don't be a hero, man. Or you're going to end up like this guy. That's what happens to people. That's what happens to whistleblowers a lot of time. These people that see things and they I got to tell the world about this. And then when he gets warned to stop, he listens because I'm sure they roughed him up a little bit, so he's scared. But then they go away and he's like, oh, I'm not going to let them tell me. You know, that's how people get. I don't know if this guy did. I don't want to say that because I don't know. But a lot of people get like that where I'm not letting somebody tell me what to do. And they're not there right now pounding your face in or threatening you. So you're going to get a little brave and say something stupid. That might have been what happened to this guy. It's sad, but it happens all the time. This is not unheard of. This is not something that the government hasn't done before. Whether it was alien or whether it was the government's own stuff that he's found and saw and filmed really doesn't matter. I mean, it matters for us because we want to know, but he saw something he wasn't supposed to see. And at every point when he had a chance to say, okay, listen to me, I'm not going to say anything more. I get it. I wasn't supposed to see this. I'm going to go on right now. I'm going to make a video saying I made it all up. I'm going to shut my mouth. You'll never hear from me again. I'm going to go back to making videos about my hair. He could have done that, but he chose not to. When he saw that car outside of his house following him around and stuff, man, he could have stopped, but he didn't. He kept making videos. And when you make yourself a problem, you get solved. That's a terrible way to say it, but I think that's what probably happened to this guy. Is he made himself a problem and he got solved. So that's my ruling on it, guys. Let me know down in the comment section what you think about it when this hits YouTube, and I'm going to throw it back over to Old Boy and get his final shout outs and all that kind of stuff. So Old Boy, go ahead, brother.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Staring into the Abyss. It's really different. I told James about it a couple days ago, and we're decided to do the show now. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Thank you for joining us on every Sunday nights at 9 Pacific, 12 Eastern. Sunday nights on Parax Radio, and the best of at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern on Parax Radio on Tuesday nights. You guys want merchandise? If you guys want merchandise, he'll tell you where to go. Shirts, all kinds of cool stuff. You guys want to follow and listen to all the new shows and old shows? Go subscribe to James Hershey's YouTube page. Just hit that little red button. Tell us what you guys think. Always give us your feedback, what you think about this show. What's your opinions? What do you think happened? Always leave it in the comment boxes. Tell us about shows you would like us to do in the future. Have a good night, Misfits, Sugar Ladies, Monster Lovers, Demon Hunters. We love you. Blessed be, and have a great night.
Thank you, brother. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. It was a fun one to do. And my warning in this episode, I'd like to repeat again. It holds true. I'm not saying don't say something if you see something. Because that's how we learn things. That's how we find information that we're not supposed to have. It's because people have the guts to stand up and say something about it. But what I am saying is know the risk going in. If you stand up and talk, if you go on the record and film something and keep pursuing it like a dog with a bone, bad things probably will end up happening to you. you're dealing with people that are very, very dangerous. And they will do whatever it takes to keep secret what they want to keep secret. You're dealing with people that do not answer to the same laws that we answer to. They are authorized to use lethal force if necessary. And believe me, if there's an order for wet work, that's not a decision made by the agent at the time. That is a decision that is made up the chain and is passed down. And if you continually make yourself a problem, that order is going to be given. See, there's this misconception that if I just go public and talk about it to the public, then I'll be safe. That's not true. Yeah, you may not get gunned down by a sniper or something, but you'll have a car accident, you'll have a heart attack. There's drugs they can give you that'll give you a heart attack. They can simply walk up behind you when you're in town at the store or something and just jab you with a needle. Needle's so small it doesn't even leave a mark. Nothing they can find in an autopsy. Drugs that are untraceable. They don't show up on tox screens. And you will just simply cease to be. You'll have a heart attack, your family will mourn your loss, you'll have a funeral, and that's it. Don't doubt me on this. I've told you before on this show, I will always tell you the truth. Now, there'll be times when there's stuff I can't tell you. This is one of those times where I can't really get into a lot of detail on a lot of stuff with this particular thing. Not that I'm involved in this particular thing, because I am not. But from my dealings over my lifetime with the government, I know the limitations of what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say, and I'm not going to push those boundaries. So to the government, if you're watching, you don't ever have to worry about me divulging anything I'm not supposed to divulge. I will not. I know. I know better. Trust me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this show. And I hope that you realize that this is something that has become popular with everybody now. Everybody's talking about it, and it's the new thing. But it's going to go away. It's going to be forgotten about soon. There'll still be some that'll talk about it into the future. You know, it'll live on in conspiracy myth, and the legend will grow, and there'll be all kinds of things added in that simply didn't happen. But I think this is just a case of somebody being in the wrong place at the wrong time and filming something. And with a society that is obsessed with celebrity and being famous, he saw his opportunity to put out a video that's going to get a hell of a lot of views. And that's exactly what happened. And he didn't want to stop once he was getting all them views. And I think that's probably why he kept going. And unfortunately, I think that ended badly for him. But let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. We appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in and watching us as always. And youtube.com/James Hershey Jr. That's a shameless plug. I'll save you all the spiel. Thank you guys. I love you. I appreciate you. Until we speak to you again. Love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do we. Bye-bye.